This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians, and welcome to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host for today, Dave Chapman. Welcome. We're all very excited. At least I am. We'll find out if everyone is fairly shortly, because we are talking about the Bridgerton episode, Rogue. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Stay tuned after the main review, where we will have a special presentation going after that. So you're welcome to stick around for that. But we'll be going our normal time for a review. And also, as normal, I'm not here alone. No, I'm not. I have, of course, the lovely, the wonderful, the talented Kevo Risse.
You know, you said lovely. I thought you were going to go Mel. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
See, I did that very intentionally. It's just like, because you were also lovely.
So.
But I want to be able to just make it a little bit, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Keep you guys on your toes.
Yes. Thank you. Excited to be here, of course. Happy Pride, everyone. I've got my psychedelic TARDIS. I've got my little Pride Dalek going. I'm excited. I'm just excited about this season of Doctor Who in general. I'm seeing a lot of really great reactions to all across the board. I'm seeing a lot of people saying they love Space Babies, which thank God. I didn't love it. And the only thing I hope when I don't love an episode is that someone else does. So, a lot of really positive reactions across the board. And I'm really excited to talk.
Excellent. And of course, also very, very lovely.
The loveliest.
The loveliest. Well, I wouldn't go that far. It is just Tom.
I was going to say it's going to be Tom, isn't it?
Yeah, totally going to be Tom. Tom is also lovely, but I just wouldn't say that Tom's the loveliest. No offense.
Listen, honey,
Tom.
third place isn't losing. It's just not first. Made you laugh.
We have a lot
My
of
shirt
people,
revealing. I'm showing too much right now, aren't I? No,
we have a lot of people that come on this show, and you are third of all of those.
I'll accept it.
You're way at the top. This is almost as
Well,
bad.
you're
as
here. So...
You are higher in the depth chart here in the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS than I am for Earth Station Who. Isn't that right, Melanie?
That's some good math.
So
he's 7th on the depth chart, y'all.
So last night I get this message late in the afternoon, like we're talking like 2 hours before. Hey Dave, are you available tonight in like 2 hours to do an episode of Earth Station Who talking about Rogue? Sure. And as we're literally recording, you'll be able to hear this on Friday when they release the episode. Yeah, it's like, no, you weren't even the first choice. You weren't second. No, you were like, these people weren't available. These people weren't available. No.
Mike's actually, he's throwing receipts down, naming names. I'm sitting here laughing because I think I was supposed to be on like the 3 shows ago. Something like that. But, Earth Station Who is really, really, really well run, tight ship where everything it's via Zoom. He shows show notes before sending out what he's going to do. He'll say who the guests are, where the link is, what's going on, the times, the time for blah, 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 blah. Everything we don't do. So I didn't know Dave was going to be there until all of a sudden he popped up. I was like, oh, I was like, I didn't know Dave was on this. That'd be awesome. I would have said something. So.
No, totally last minute thing, and so that was the thing. However, I'm now 6th on the depth chart because Melanie just kind of got herself almost thrown off the show.
I've been banished.
Yeah, to find out why, you'll have to tune in Friday.
I poked a bear. I poked a bear that I know I was poking a bear. I knew where the Achilles heel was. I just went over there and went snap, and
it was glorious.
Yes. I regret nothing.
But yes,
go watch it. It's very good. It's a great review of Rogue. I have a feeling it's going to be very similar to our review because it's upbeat, positive. There's points, counterpoints, and it's a great time to listen. So check out Earth Station Who on the ESO network when the episode drops on Friday. We'll try maybe to see if we can at least make sure that we share it on our pages to let you know to go see us to probably basically say the same things again. Although I did go back and watch it again, so this time
I just did because there were a few things I wanted to double check.
Yep. So it's actually some wibbly wobbly stuff where like this is the future and that's the past.
Yes.
So we'll be able to see if your opinion holds up from Earth Station Who to now, but in the future.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yes.
I messed up already to understand.
See? Time paradox.
Time paradox. Reavers are coming.
Oh,
paradox.
Andrew.
I couldn't get far enough out on the virtual background.
No, it's too good. It's too good.
It's too good. It's like you're still there. I love that. Oh Lord. Okay, so
look at me just loading it up so that there's an ad for my Doctors and Daleks Alien Archive review.
Did you go back and then get a drink, or did you hold that drink the entire time?
It was just off to the side.
Good lad.
I promise I did not just go all Reaver and run away just to get a drink.
So,
Good
as we start chugging along, everybody, remember we're going to be rating this show. Go ahead and start rating. Give us your ratings: 1 to 10 TARDISes, 1 not so great, 10. Oh my lord, this is like the best. And give us a little encapsulation of why. I'll try to pop up everything that as the chats are going as you chat with us live. And if you aren't watching us live, make a comment, all that kind of fun stuff. We like to we lurk in our own channel after the fact, so we will still engage with everyone who does comments and all that other kind of fun stuff.
Feed the algorithm.
Feed the algorithm.
Before we get to everyone else's rating, I'm going to pop this up as well. Roger mentions, I'm sure I'm going to love the sequel to Tales from the TARDIS next Thursday. Kevo, even though some of us will probably get to watch it on Daily Motion or somewhere else online. Here's what I would like from the four of you and for all of you watching at home. This is going to drop in the afternoon. I think it's 6 o'clock London time. I think 2000. That's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
So prime time. But that's still the middle of the afternoon for us, which means it will probably drop on YouTube, Daily Motion, a Google Drive somewhere. Or at the very least, we'll know what it is.
Right.
And at least be able to see the bumpers and find the middle portion of whatever they're airing, again, theoretically, in the middle. Are people interested in us doing a fast and dirty review Thursday evening, our time? So our usual this time right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you three interested in potentially doing that? Yeah, excellent.
I can do that.
So
I can absolutely
see if
do
I can
that.
pull something together.
Yeah, as long as I'm available, yeah.
You might have to ask somebody to do graphics, though. We need a thumbnail.
We will have to figure that out. That'll be a really last minute one.
Kind of losers just sitting around. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I already have Memory TARDIS graphics.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll see if we can pull something together. We'll see if we can pull in like Mark and Jessamine, some of our UK types, and do that because that'd be awesome. Cool. And at least Jim and Roger are going to show up and watch. So hey, we'll have at least 2 people. I love that answer. So with that having been said, why don't we get on to today's episode, Rogue, because it was pretty awesome. It was very Bridgerton. It's true. So let's start with Tom. What do you give it? What's your rating out of 10?
I always start with 10 because I watched it the first time. Second time around, I went down to 6.
Ooh.
Okay.
High 6.
Okay,
High 6. I like that.
that's fair. And Melanie, what about you?
The first time around, I was at a 9, and the second time, I'm at a 9.5, which is. There's only one thing that kept it from 10, because every other episode I've watched so far, like last 3, it's been 10s. There was only one thing that kept it away, but I'm holding at 9.5. I'm gonna hold at 9.5. Watch the third time will be a 10, but 9.5. Still
all right. And Kevo, what about yourself?
I want to say a comfortable 8. I think I liked it even more on rewatch, and once I knew where it was going and everything, I think it was a lower 8 on Friday. But now that I've acclimated to what the story ended up being, an 8.
Okay, that's reasonable. Just for expedience, I'm still going to give my review last, regardless of the numbers. But I'm going to give you my number now, since I already gave it yesterday on Earth Station Who, just out of 5. Yesterday, I said I was torn between a 4.5 and 4.25, and I settled on 4.25, which would
out of 5. Out of 5.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Make sure we know that.
I would take it up to 8.
Their rating system's different.
Yeah, they have there's a little tighter. So that gives it me an 8.5.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna keep it at that 8.5 with the caveat of I really expect at the end of this season that's probably gonna go up to a 9. There's some stuff that hopefully I'll get a chance to talk about a little bit later in the episode. I'm like, I think this is more connected than a lot of people are realizing. Beyond just the portrait, there's some interesting things in there. So I'm curious to see. And again, we won't have to wait long, a couple days, and we'll start seeing more of these resolutions. But that leaves us with the lowest going first, as is traditional, which is going to be Mr. Tom. So, Tom, why'd you give it the strong 6?
Okay, let's go through the messed up bullet list.
I love it.
Come with me and you'll see. Now, I love Willy Wonka. I love Kylie. I love cosplay in D&D, but is it... Oh, I'm sorry. It's LARP. They're not cosplaying. They're LARPing.
True.
Role play. I got that from someone. Come on, Rogue. Of course, there's only one Rogue for me, and Kevo knows. And so does Dave, because I sent the picture. Who did I send a picture to? Oh, I sent it to the chat. Okay,
You sent it to everybody.
The chat.
Okay. Oh, that's my Rogue right there. Let's see. Come and see. B. Where's B? Susan? I'm giving it a low score. I can't wait for the next two-parter. Oh my god, it's gonna be a 10 just me thinking about it. Anyway, Bridgerton. Since Bridgerton cosplay, is this episode really going to be remembered because it's such a timely thing? It's right now. That's thoughts running my head. It's like, hey, I loved it, but I'm just trying to find, because I gave it 10 so many times, like reviewing wise. The scanning, oh my god, I almost marked something down for that, but we'll get back to that. D. Richard E. Grant, of course. Why does the third Doctor look older than he should be? Because Andrew Morris and I went through the thing. It's like, it's an older picture of John, not Sean. But that's nitpicking. It's finding out that possibly of Richard E. Grant, he was on the set, and that's why they got his picture. That's why he looks the way he does. So it's nothing in particular, just he was there.
Yes, I also heard they got an updated video.
Or at least he came in and did the updated visual. Yeah. I don't know if he was on set, quote unquote.
Oh,
but
the
somewhere at a studio.
Yeah, being there to do it. The 15th Doctor giving his speech, that's what we need. We need a good speech, and it's finally come out. So I enjoyed that very much so. How the toy maker created this jigsaw. So, this is what we had. We have Richard E. Grant. We have the original 9th Doctor, as we knew during the Wilderness years, in there. Older third Doctor, but Colin when he was not even a 6th Doctor because of his hair. Yeah.
I think it was cut off. It really felt like a lot of the hair was like it was a little bit just tighter cropped on all of those little images, like they were in a globe.
Yeah. Ooh, and sure. The I'm okay with the D&D, the dancing, and the interaction with the Doctor and Rogue. Death of Ruby. Now we know Ruby's going to come back. So how's this like? Oh my god. I felt upset. He's like, oh my god, there's lightning bolts, there's everything. The Doctor's crying. As it was pointed out to me, he's been crying a lot. But then again, he doesn't have the trauma from his past. This is Ncuti's Doctor. With David's 10th Doctor was always, I'm sorry. So for him, it's the tears. I do it myself. But as when I play the Doctor, it's not nitpicking. I'm okay with the kiss, okay with the cosplay. The idea that something's wrong with the TARDIS. It has been brought up when Rogue and the Doctor were on board. All of a sudden, like IBS. And with the introduction, why is it streaming? Why is the TARDIS always slamming into things? As we know, it's going to be slamming into unit next week and go, give me some love. Oh, I love that scene. But something is wrong with TARDIS.
We love it.
And also with Devil's Core, like Doctor's always crying. I'm sorry. The hug, the ring, I had no problem with that. But of course, everything just is just too short. When Sylvester said back during Silver Nemesis, it would have been so much better, but there was just not enough time. And now we're cut to 45 minutes with 8 episodes only instead of a 13 kind of thing. You can't expand on it. Everything comes out so fast. So yes, watching it through with ADHD, I'm enjoying it. But then to do reviews on it is like, it's still too short. We don't have any expansion. It should be 2-part episodes. We should have 20 episodes just to give that exposition, because that's how I write. And I don't have any exposition whatsoever. I love the Bird of Prey rogue ship. Where's your ship? It's a shed. So now we can call it the shed. That's hilarious stuff. Someone brought up, I sent it to you, Dave. Doctor does not need to identify with the audience. Now, we always watch Doctor Who because we want to go into the Doctor's world. We always explore with him. And then when we had the new Who, it was a little bit different. It was, here's a companion. Where would you like to go? Let me see it through your eyes. I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with this. But that's, of all these things, all the reviews, I had to point that out. That is it too much of the audience there? The Doctor's not really participating. I'm a little bit conflicted, but I don't have any problems with it. Side characters are always resolving the issues, not the Doctor. But he has been on the other series. He had obligations, so it's understandable he's not in. It's more, these are Doctor Light kind of episodes. So maybe things will change. But when we get to knowing that season 2, who's here, who's there, and we're not even started season 1, it goes back in my mind of, copies. Oh, because when I turn the episode on, it's like, this kind of feels like Family of Blood, except they're just having fun killing people, but they're the villains, but they're like,
I call it that.
Family of Blood light.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
I guess so. And of course, Rogue replacing Captain Jackson. They don't have no problem. I want that ring too. The random flashback when Doctor's crying, that was not even part of any original episode. It was made for this episode. So there's okay, I didn't remember that. It means I had to go back and watch these things, but that kind of got me.
Oh no. Horrors.
Shock. The fake death we talked about, that rushed. I think I got everything. That's pretty much it. That's what only thing is. It was the negatives that had to bring it down for me to expand my review. But I'm not going to give it, anything lower than the 6, nothing lower than 5. It was still a great episode. It's entertaining. It's for us to talk about Doctor Who. It's not us to be about saying, these are just, this is what I heard. This is what I can see. How does everyone else feel about that too? That's why we do reviews.
It's true.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fly myself through the comments here. Looking there, could you just star that one about Sutek for later?
Got it. Yep.
Thank you. I'm like, I can't find it, but yes, you kind of know where it is.
I'll find it.
Thank you.
No, you saw me dancing, Andrew.
Go, what was that, Tom?
I looked back, Andrew saw me dancing. That's so crap.
Nothing wrong with dancing.
The dance party, why not?
Exactly. No, I think there's some really good points, and a 6 is not a bad review. At all. The sound one, the other Sutek review.
On it. Because there's a few.
Oh, is there?
A few people, there's a few
I just not.
I'm just gonna star them all.
Maybe.
From Andrew?
Oh, there it is. I found it. Bang. There's. I started that one, so there you go. It was Andrew. Anyways, what I think we're gonna do, but yeah, 6 is not a bad review by any stretch. It's still well above average. What I think we're gonna do is we're gonna do some commercials before we get into the rest of us. Was it pink? I didn't see a pink Sonic. I saw red. I didn't see pink.
It's a reddish. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a dusty red.
That's all I've seen is the dusty red and gold. Yeah.
Ugly gold.
But yes, let's. I think that's what we're going to do. We've got a new sponsor, so we're going to run that commercial and a couple of more. When we return, please become part of the legend and all of that stuff.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Hey everybody, welcome back to an all-new X's for Show, your premier show for streaming media content.
A great creative team and a great concept that is years in the making.
That's certainly one of the interesting things about this as a program.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
The silliest version of every single one.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
Everybody is so even-keeled.
That
is a nonsense thing that you just said.
I'm not wrong. I've seen all the films.
I get what you're saying. I hate it.
It's really ugly to call that a genius on air.
Nobody screams at each other and goes,
I will fight you! Wow, what a great moment for our show.
Truly, we did it.
This would be a great jumping on point for you.
2,000 episodes in.
Every weekend and Wednesdays.
Shows no signs of stopping.
You can check the show out at X's for Show.
Come on. I mean, we've got a show, baby. Just, you gotta trust us. It's gonna be good.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Flaw, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
Alright, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
All right. And we are back. Excuse me. I'm going to run a manual commercial because I can. Yes, I have a review. Another one. It's Doctor Who season. So TheRatHole.ca /Doctors-and-Daleks-Alien-Archive. So yes, that is my most recent Doctor Who review for the Doctors and Daleks, which is Doctor Who role-playing using 5th edition rules. As well, I've got some really cool news about my the Doctor Who role-playing game 60th Years of Adventure review that I did at the end of December. It's up for an award.
Ooh,
exciting!
Yeah, so I am up for Best Media Production, which is the newly branded Review of the Year for that. So I'm super excited.
Wow.
I am trying to work it out to take a last-minute trip out to Columbus, Ohio, and go do it. I'm not going to win. I didn't win last year. I had a better chance last year than I do this year, but it's an honor just to be nominated or something. Also, these are some really good, high-quality people in there. Tabletop Bellhop is amazing. Maurice is wonderful. The Frosthaven review at the bottom behind Andrew's name is it's hiding behind the banner behind the comments.
Yes, I'll move that.
Game Quest, I think, is actually who won last year, if I remember correctly.
Fingers are broken.
I don't know Ox Venture, but the Tea Time Adventures is hella great. So yeah, all of these are just great people to be nominated against. So I'm super excited about that.
Well, we think you're great, Dave, and we think
Yes.
that you can win.
Yay.
We'll
We
get you an
believe in
award.
Yeah.
From Walmart.
DWRPG-60 years is the URL for that one.
Right.
You can check that out as you like. But so there's my adding of a commercial. Because
There we go.
in.
There you go. What? An
It's
award?
finalist for the award.
It's a
It's
major
the original
award.
So yeah, if you're a gamer and you're going to be around Columbus, hopefully I'll be there and you can check it out. Yay. But yes, so who I've now lost, other than myself, who had the next rating? It was Kevo was next, I believe. Yeah.
It's me.
Kevo. So what do you got? What you got to say, good sir?
Mostly an 8. I moved into my memory TARDIS because I didn't want the psychedelic one to trip you out too much while I was giving my full status review. A lot of really great things about this episode. It really gave me a lot of series 1 vibes, the music, the tone, the pacing. I didn't really see Rogue as a Captain Jack replacement the way a lot of people have been saying. It kind of feels more like trying to do a fresh take on Captain Jack. Captain Jack exists, and you could just bring him back, but you could also just create new characters. We love new characters. We can, invent new things. And, Jonathan Groff has something of a reputation in the gay community. She's a diva, and that was a lot of makeup on her. God bless. But, also a lot of really positive things. Already an entity at Disney, playing a Disney prince, and now a Disney princess kissed the Doctor. I think that's a good thing. I think there's a lot of debate as to whether or not the Doctor is a romantic figure. And if you have a preference for him not being a romantic figure, that's your preference, and that's completely fine. But I think the idea that the Doctor is a romantic figure is sort of inarguable at this point. It's something a lot of people do clearly enjoy. And that's why we're seeing a lot of positive responses to this character and this concept. I thought something Nico brought up on last Friday's broadcast that was interesting was, should an immortal be with someone in that way? And I think those are interesting stories to be telling as well. I feel like that's the difference between Yaz and Rogue. Yaz was someone that the Doctor plucked out of a normal life. It's sort of like when she picks up a human companion, she's kind of breaking the Prime Directive in a lot of ways by pulling someone who doesn't know anything about aliens or time travel into this world. You're kind of contaminating a person, and you really need to be careful about how you take care of that person. But Rogue comes in, has a Romulan bird of prey, knows what holograms are or whatever. Like that's a character who's a lot more like Jack, who's a lot more like River Song. So I think the way people are acting like, will he come back, is very interesting. I'm sure there weren't necessarily plans from the beginning to bring the character back, but he's testing well. He was really excited to be part of Doctor Who isn't? I didn't absolutely adoringly love it. I don't absolutely adoringly love anything about this first season. I'm really enjoying a lot of it. I've consistently enjoyed Doctor Who for a very long time, and I think it ebbs and flows. And I think they are in an era right now where they're doing a lot of interesting things. A sentiment that people say a lot is Doctor Who is for everyone. And if that is the case, then that means doing stuff like this. It means gays. It means Bridgerton, kind of. Like, I'm not a Bridgerton person, but this had me interested in Bridgerton now. So, like, it goes both ways, where I was a Doctor Who fan, and now I'm, like, learning things about this show that I'm finding interesting. The music, I didn't know that Bridgerton is that, where, like, they use string quartet versions of modern songs for their soundtrack. I think that's fun. And it was fun. So I'm interested in having fun. And I look forward to hopefully seeing this character some more, seeing how this develops, seeing how everything about this era develops. A lot of people are saying this isn't what Doctor Who was. When I wasn't born, it's the 2020s, it's almost the 2030s. And I really hope that this speaks to the new generation, because otherwise, how is this going to stay alive? When you were 14, your parents probably thought that original Doctor Who was insane. So, It's about keeping up with the times.
My mom still does think the original Doctor Who is insane, and the new stuff is just unthinkable.
I can't imagine
everything
my
into
mom.
Is weird, so it's it's okay.
My mom would not have
watches
understood anything about Doctor Who. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I say my mom watches movies like Lake Placid and just The Meg. So this isn't even her wheelhouse.
Interesting.
There's a hierarchy, and it's somewhere down there. Bless.
So everyone thought we were weird for liking this show at one time. So.
And it really is. Like I said, I mentioned this earlier in the season after the first couple of episodes. I've got a ton of friends that are teachers, family that are teachers. I've got nieces and nephews that are school aged, and I'm hearing a lot of people talking about Doctor Who in school. Like their friends are talking about it. Not every kid, obviously, but it's like, and that this is normal. Like what's the complaints of woke are all just normal for them. So that's kind of cool. And the numbers seem to be holding up for all the complaints. I was looking at the last one. We did, for the record, for those of you who did not see it, I had a special interview with Our Philosophy Is, a YouTuber, kind of looking at how those numbers are attached and how those numbers get determined and what they mean. I looked at the numbers for this past week, and Doctor Who was the number 2 scripted show on BBC, number 3 in all of the UK networks.
Wow, nice.
And that's still with the lower ratings. People who say this should be pulling in 7 million viewers, 10 million viewers. The number 1 show in the UK didn't make 7 million.
Yeah. Where? Who do you think is watching?
Yeah,
like this is just not, these expectations are not realistic any longer. So
this isn't the series finale of MASH anymore. We're not like tens of millions of people tuning in.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, everything about television is a different landscape, from the viewership to the storytelling.
And it's top 10 in not every country, but it's the majority of countries that have Disney Plus. It's in the top 10.
To me, the metrics are no longer appointment viewing. It's not appointment viewing water cooler TV anymore. We're in a world of streaming. I honestly think it should be more looked at like movies. If it's getting released on a Thursday, and we're going to do box office for the weekend, because people's lives are a little bit different now. Exactly. And the other big metric here, you had a governing party, like I say governing, but no, they had Nielsen that knew how to look at the ratings, at least again for the US. You're doing streaming, and you're trying to hope on the honor system that people are saying what their actual ratings are. So that there's a lot of margin of error of everything. So to compare it to of old times, I mean that's the thing. There's just so many different variables now that we're not even in the same orchard of trying to being like, oh, this is an apple to an apple. Sir, you're on a different. We're growing coffee beans on the equator, and you might want to take a plane ride that way.
Yeah. Andrew's got a good pop here. Some people are waiting for the finale to binge watch everything.
Mm-hmm. There's only 8 episodes. I get that.
That's how my mom watches. My mom will not watch anything unless she can binge it.
Mm-hmm.
Bless her soul. She does not watch until something is done. Then she will go ahead and watch it. She was like the world's biggest Loki fan. My Lord. She absolutely adores everything Tom Hiddleston does, and is just a gigantic Loki fan. And even when the second season came out and she was excited for it, didn't watch it until that finale happened. And we had to be very careful on spoilers around her too.
And some stuff like I will, and that's fine. I don't mind. But then other stuff like when Yellow Jackets comes back next year, I'm not watching that weekly. I won't. My heart can't handle that. I'm going to wait until the season's over, because that show is nuts, and I don't want to have to wait every single week. And there are shows like that. And you have the freedom to do that in this day and age. Spoilers are out there, but I feel like everything is such cacophony these days that sometimes, like, I'll just see a picture and I'll scroll by real fast, and that's all. Like, it's not as terrible as it used to be.
Mm-hmm. The spoilers for this are not harder to avoid necessarily than some, but they're more prevalent because, of course, a little bit more into the fandom than some others. But yeah, I had to stay up till like 2 a.m. to watch this episode because I'm just like, I can't go another day with dealing with this and ducking and avoiding group chats and YouTube and social media. It was so I watched it, and I actually watched it twice that night because I was doing some other stuff, and it's like, well, I'm still getting stuff done. I know I'm going to watch it again, so I might as well. So Melanie, tell us more. Tell us more about what you have to.
So I've just broke my streak on 10, 10, 10, 9.5. Again, this isn't a bad thing. I'll start with the only thing that I was like, and that was at first I wasn't feeling the chemistry between Rogue and the Doctor at first, like when they first had met, like on the balcony and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't getting that, but that was because I think in my head I was still trying to suss who Rogue was. Are you a time agent? Who are you? What are you doing? Blah 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 blah. And then you say he's a bounty hunter. Like, okay, but then I started kind of feeling it when we got onto the ship, and for me, I was getting these vibes of Girl in the Fireplace. So for me, this entire that was the only thing. That was the only thing I didn't like. It was at first I thought the chemistry wasn't there at first, and then oh my lord, yes, it was there. It was there. It was there. It was there. So now we'll start with everything that I loved about it. Indara was amazing.
Yes.
Oh, she came back and she just, I didn't want to say she chewed up the scenery. But she did. She just absolutely slayed everything. I loved her. Again, I'm seeing Ruby in a way that she's just confident. She knows who she is. She has no problem mouthing back off a little bit. She's a very confident character. Loved her. I liked how at the very beginning we knew who was a bad guy. I don't even have to worry about who. I'm like, oh, okay. I hate you with the I'm him being the tall drink of milk.
I want to be you.
I want to be you. And I was like, oh, wait, what? And the bones cracking. And yeah, then the poop. Oh, we've got a bad guy to become even more of a bad guy. Okay, we know you're evil. Awesome. There's no redemption. You're dead. Okay, you're a bad guy. The sets were amazing. Now, quick note. And I'm sorry that I move my hands around so much when I'm talking. Maybe I should put them here.
Oh, what the hell?
It's not going to move them again. Yeah. I've never watched Bridgerton. I don't know Bridgerton. I'm not a Regency romance person. I'm not a romance person. Surprise. So it's just not my cup of tea. But I am very familiar with Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and every other thing that Bridgerton has cross-promoted and is now on every freaking candle and body scent if you go into your local Bath and Body Works right now. Here's Bridgerton, everything. So I kind of got a little feel for it. But things that after the fact that I did not know was the costumes. My God, the costumes were amazing. Oh, that's because we used Bridgerton costumes. Okay. The dancing was so well choreographed, and they was shot beautifully. And you used their choreographer. Good on you again. The music, I didn't know that until Kevo mentioned that that's something that they do, is that they'll do the chamber music quartet kind of stuff of current stuff. Love the fact that the Doctor's dancing to Kylie Minogue. Just like, yay, look, it's Astrid. Anyway, loved that. There was a lot of things that technically were just beautiful. I liked how you had her, you had Ruby running back there when they realized bad guy, the dude, Duke, I can't remember what his name was. And the girl who learned the word okay, bless her. Oh, I love, I know that word. Oh, good for you. I didn't see that twist coming. I actually didn't see that coming. When they were having their spat in front of the fireplace, and they were heavy duty LARPing cosplaying, and Ruby's looking through the bookshelf, like through the little books. So here she's actually gasping and stuff. So she's really having a real life watching this happen. at going. So she's watching the TV, like you're just waiting for Ruby just to pull popcorn out and just start watching and walking. Was amazing.
You find out both of them are LARPers. Both of the people she's watching in that scene are aliens themselves in private LARPing.
Yes.
Yes.
And you realize that like they're hitting imaginary marks in their head because they're like, oh, no, I can't, but I will. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. The dance between the Doctor and Rogue. That there was one scene in particular that really struck me, and it was the lighting. And then I found out after the fact, I think I've read it today, is that was one take, and it was the final take they did, where they were moving around each other, and the light had to dim in the background, had to start being pulled up in the right spot to hit their faces and all that kind of stuff. So that was just absolute wonderful set calling. That was like lighting time. That was somebody who was stage managing that. It was brilliant. But again, to me, this was extremely Doctor Who. This felt like a Doctor Who episode. Whoever wrote this wrote because this is a love letter to Doctor Who. You can make the argument this was very formulaic. You can make the argument that this was Girl in the Fireplace. Up until the point where they fell in love, the chemistry was fast. It was, and then we've got sad Tennant at the very end. Except it was, it's Ncuti also nailing it out of the park. Except this time we got Ruby Sunday being the boss that she is. When he's like, "Oh, okay, we're done, on and off. I'm gonna pull on my 11 mask and just say, oh, we're good, we're done." And she's like, "No, hug it out. No, you're gonna." Because he's the emotional doctor. This is a doctor who's actually in touch with kind of his feelings a little bit, or at least trying to figure that out. Hence why at first he was like, why am I scared? Why am I this? He's getting in touch in this new thing with emotion. It's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I can go on and on and on about there was a little bit of the family of blood with the family, and at this time when he goes, how long do they live for? And it's like Rogue's all 600 years. Good, I'm gonna make them pay for it. It reminded me like when the Doctor put one person in a mirror, one person, because they're mayflies and they're gonna die quick, so instead family of blood, spoilers, makes them all live out a freaking eternity. Are we going to find Rogue? Yeah, we'll find him at some point. I know. It's there's as many multiverses. And here we go to multiverse again. As atoms there are in the galaxy, blah, 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 blah. And this is why I got kicked off of ESO Network. Drama. Well, no, because someone is not a Rose shipper. And I'm not saying I'm a Rose shipper, but I like Rose. And I want to know if we're going to Pete's World. I want to know if we're going to go to Pete's World, and if we're going to see Rose, and we're going to see 10 be a doctor again, and we're going to see the hand 10-2 doctor. Let Rogue be there. Oh, that would be amazing.
I want a resolution to 14.
I want that
before we do that. So 14
I want Rogue to be there.
10 is done. 14 is done. And now we're bringing in 10-2 to talk about that one.
That's where I want him to find out that he's there. And then all of a sudden there's Rose, and Rose with her dimension cannon or whatever the heck she has. That's how they find that. Two more things, because I know I'm going to keep going and going and going. And I'm sorry, but I'm not. We have Chocolate Doctor, y'all. We have Richard E. Grant. Let's just talk about that head that when they were spinning around. We saw that. And I would just.
Yeah, go bring that up. Kevo. Yeah, bring that. Kevo's got that.
He's got that. I have one gripe about that. Look at that.
Up in here.
Curse the Fatal Death is real, y'all. And yes, I said that. And that was.
I'll explain later.
Here we go. I have my one gripe. My absolute one gripe is that I don't see Cushing. I don't see Peter Cushing so bad. You know how you get something, and now you're like, oh, you were expecting like a certain meal, and you found out you got a buffet, and now you're going to be catty and go, well, in that case, I want this one and I want that one.
Yeah,
Cushing. But anyway, that was awesome. At least for anybody, he's throwing those little bites for Doctor Who fans that are really deep, and he's giving those bites to who are brand new. So Stellar 9.5. I can shut up now, but I could keep going, but we're running out of time. So I want Dave to be able to go on and on and on and wax poetic as well for what he loved, hated, and all that fun stuff.
So with we'll just stay on Grant for a second here. He could be pulling a Brains of Morbius here, where that just didn't come back up for 30 years. Like that, they did the whole thing with Baker, which is also a really important time frame, it seems, right now, which also might be where that came from, just as an extra nod to Baker's era. But yeah, they didn't mention that. It's possible that we won't get any play out. But the thing about it is the Shulk Doctor, that's an alternate dimension version of 9. And Rogue has now dropped into another dimension. This is not the first time this season that we have talked about different dimensions specifically.
Jigsaw.
So
and there's some
who did Rogue lose? I want to know who Rogue lost. Somebody else had mentioned that in the thing.
Yeah.
Who was it? Because he also says them, and that they miss them. So don't know if they're just using the non-gender specific pronoun just to say that, or if that's their pronoun, or what have you. You don't know.
Just to mess with everyone's head, so you can't give away anything. Or to be frank, he may not even know. He may not have made that decision. That's why they left it open. But no, there was a lot. That was just one of, like I said, with Richard E. Grant and the multiple dimension side of things is just one of the many less talked about points. Everyone's like, oh my God, Richard E. Grant screams the Shulk Doctor is in this, and not analyze why. Look here, don't look here.
Yes, that is something that I'm also wondering about this season. And
there's a few of those moments.
Fugitive Doctor's in there too. So Lord knows if Fugitive Doctor's in that same line.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This was one of the complaints and one of the compliments. It's the both sides of the seesaw. Is this was kind of an over the top romance, which is what Bridgerton was supposed to be. And there's the complaint that the Doctor shouldn't be a romantic figure. Well, what was the complaint in earlier in the season? The Doctor shouldn't be an over the top musical. The Doctor shouldn't be an over the top this. The Doctor shouldn't be an over the top that. All of these things, they're hitting all of these different genres that are, and the Doctor's getting sucked into those. Right? When we said, oh, he's gotten sucked into the musical because of Maestro. Oh, he's gotten sucked into these weirdness because of the Toymaker. Oh, we are going to see more of the Pantheon. And, maybe Ruby is the storytelling muse or whatever. So that's the thing. Was this
if I may tag on to that, the storyteller element from Space Babies, the machine created reality out of a story. So there are a lot of things tying into that theme. Absolutely.
Exactly. So it's really, was this a big romance episode, or was this something more? I think it's a little of both, personally. And how will that play out later? Who knows? But there's the, as he was in the ship. I mean, the whole thing in Rogue's ship was glorious. Every moment of it, but I especially loved the constant turning back on Kylie Minogue. No, I've like unplugged it. Doesn't matter. That was just so that was so Doctor Who. But remember when he says, "Oh, just for the paperwork, I'm going to go scan you because there's the new boss."
Ever since this new boss, the
boss is coming, going all the way back again to Star Beast, right? So there's more connections there.
Is Susan Twist the boss?
Maybe. Here's another. I'm going to take it in a different direction. So that ship, What did that ship look to you like? Looked like a bird. You know where I'm going, Melanie, because we talked a little bit about this. I'm going to talk about more. It looked like a very specific bird, though. That looked very much like an Egyptian falcon or the royal falcon, which is that very, and I got it in an overlay here. That's what that ship was. Right?
Okay.
That's the symbol of Horus. Horus in Egyptian mythology, specifically in the Osiris myths, was basically the antagonist to Set, also known as Sutekh, who is of the Osirians in Pyramid of Mars. So now we've got, and this is not the first time, someone mentioned, this is the comment from Andrew that I said, hey, no, we need to come back to that, where the sounds are sounding very much like sounds made out of Sutekh. When we had, just like we had the Tricksters song out of Ruby. So we're now getting a couple of these interesting little things. And another really unnoticed thing, and I didn't grab a screen cap of this, but the time window, which I think actually does kind of get mentioned somewhere in one of the promo stuff for the next couple of episodes, is a concept out of Pyramids of Mars. And the image of that time window is like looking into a DJ's light. It's all the different colored lights coming in at you like this. Just like all of the advertising at the beginning of the season. It looks like that just from the 1980s. So there's all of these major things dropping in that could possibly all lead to Sutekh as the one who waits, which also would fit that character. We've got a fourth Doctor story has never come out in Tales from the TARDIS. We'll find out in a couple of days if that's what that is. It'll either be Pyramid of Mars or possibly a third Doctor. We'll see where that lands. But yeah, so like there's just all of these extra layers, and as always, we don't know if that means that we're getting led along by the nose by RTD, or if we're following the right bread trails. That's a good question. I don't know what was on.
I was trying to look and I couldn't tell. And sometimes I thought it looked like the
Rouge's engagement ring gadget.
Yeah. Don't pick.
I was trying to think what that was. It looked to me like the medical. Oh, what's it called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had that vibe, but didn't, because I just saw the little kind of ring, so it's like almost snake around something.
I thought it looked like Horus.
You say snakes? It could be that. Yeah, and I mean, snakes are also fairly.
You need to zoom in and enhance.
Oh, there we go.
Absolutely terrible image.
Can we get any closer?
I'm seeing if I can get another good one, because that one is just like, who would even do that? That's not even helpful.
That's somebody who did it with their phone. Bless their soul for trying.
I don't know what it is, but it definitely does have a vaguely Egyptian look to it.
Look like
whether it is
to me, it looks like something's coiled around a staff.
Yeah,
and it's got wigglings on either side.
Yeah, which it's definitely not the specific one, but yeah, no, it's
not generic.
No, it's definitely not generic, and that'll I'm sure it'll come up at some point, maybe, or maybe it won't. Shout out to Murray Gold for slaying even more than usual.
Oh yes.
I don't know how many of these were purchased, so watch yourself, Murray. I'm on to you.
True.
Making faces at me into cameras.
And something I did not do because I did not have time, partly because I'm trying to figure out this whole Columbus thing, is there is no actual twist at the end for me, but we do have.
Yeah.
That's not what that was.
Oh, I didn't know.
I thought that was a different image.
Oh, you needed the
the portrait.
I didn't know if that was the time window thing that you had been talking about.
No, that's actually not.
But
okay,
that is not. No, you
imagine if all of those were different colors.
This.
That's the one.
There you
we're
go.
looking for, yeah. So yes, there's always a twist at the end. There's all of our twists.
Like the Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch.
So bad.
All of our twists.
Go away.
We
And
bring
stuff,
the
yeah, that's a
Susan twist.
possibility. But yeah, in the preview for next week, that lower right-hand version of Susan Twist, aka Susan Triad, says she's in all of the dreams. So that's an interesting thing that hasn't been surprising that I haven't seen mentioned, that particular line. I think it's going to be very important.
Was anyone else kind of bummed by this week's Susan Twist, though?
I don't think we needed a bigger Susan Twist in this episode.
Yeah, that was a twist.
In this episode, in this sequence of events, they had it enough that they were able to recognize, her, and hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think they're. Sorry, I was eating a piece of chocolate.
Yeah, if we'd had like a dancer or something that was Susan Twist, I think it would have derailed the rest of the storyline. Yes,
I think if she was there in live action, now that Ruby and the Doctor know she's a person or know something's going on, they would have had no other recourse but to confront her. Yeah. And by having her as a painting, RTD or whoever, the two people who wrote this, there's no way that they would be able to go, oh no, she's away or stay away from them.
And so that painting, that's what Ruby could even be like, I'm not even sure it was her. Like it's a painting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If we look at the order of this, right? The Doctor never meets her in that first incarnation. We have no idea who she is in the second incarnation, other than she was there. Third one, she's a recorded video, so they couldn't do anything with that. And amongst others, they never saw her face in Devil's Cord. Her back was always turned to them, and the picture that's up there was as they're walking away, so they wouldn't have recognized her. Then we get the ambulance. Clearly, we recognize her. Only Ruby saw the hiker. They both saw the mother, but again, couldn't do anything to interact with it. But they're like they clearly know, and now we have this other picture. Again, they can't interact with that, right? They're keeping all of the potential for interaction coming up. Yes, Roger. Yeah, Susan Triad, S Triad, anagram for TARDIS. We'll see if that's the thing. But yeah, so I think that's why a good reason for it to have been a portrait is to avoid possible interaction. Yeah, there's my always a twist at the end ramble. Not as entertaining as usual, but that is what it is.
I just wanted to make a comment that I politely agree and disagree with them looking cheap. I think the face makeup looked astounding. I think back here looked good too. I think because you're doing because they're actors, they have to move around. There's some parts where I think you could see that this was a collar and it moved around, and like there was another woman that she was more of a more fluffier owl, and that she had a bigger part, and I know when she moved you could kind of see that a little bit. So I could see where maybe you can make the argument cheap. I think it just looked more theatrical, and I think it worked because it's Doctor Who. But then
I was just gonna say, people keep saying, "Oh, this is nothing like old Doctor Who."
So I really have an appreciation for practical over CG, because
and so much of it was practical. I was astounded.
So
I really think this is one of the most Doctor Who episodes we've had this season, quite frankly. At the end of the day,
it was very Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And honest, and to me, it was a good I don't know if I said it already. This was a good palate cleanser from the last few, where I just had a nice break and had a Doctor Who episode. I just sat back. I enjoyed. Here's the beginning. They're in a historical kind of spot. Okay, here's the bad guy. Here we go. What's going to happen? Nice little twist. A little bit of a plot thing. Oh, the Doctor. Again, to me, this was a love letter to Girl in the Fireplace. It was pre-Bridgerton, before, and then off we go, and some little things that we can pick up again. So I think this was just nice, and I didn't have to go crazy thinking. I didn't have to pick my jaw off the floor, like finding out that Lindy was absolutely a evil villain demon, nightmare of a trash human. And now I get ready for the next 3 episodes.
There you go.
Yep, I really do think it felt RTD1. This really did. Well, especially when I could point out which episodes I was feeling it from. The nose looking like beaks. It reminded me of, okay, get ready for how old I am. It reminded me of the parrot from Zoobilee Zoo. So there you go. Thank you, Kevo.
Oh, yeah.
I love you.
Oh, yes. Was obsessed, of course.
So that's what I kind of think, where I'm like, that's my life.
Yeah, it was very Cats. Like, this is what Cats the movie should have been. The way that, like, I need to watch it. I'm gonna give it a chance. But like everything I've seen, it's the fact that everything was so motion smoothed and like, no, the joy of the play Cats is the fact that it is this practical look and that it's this you can tell they're human. And I think the physicality and the actual practical effects, it adds an element to it. And I was really impressed. I love the smashed beak. That was a very funny bit, again, and it's a very kids level joke, but that's, the whole point is that this is supposed to have something for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, hook attack.
Battle mode.
And before, I loved that. That which brings up to Ruby's facial expressions throughout the episode were so delightful. Like
she's astonishing.
It's like, yeah, this is great. Hey, you just threw the fan over there. Why did you? Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just those moments of realization and confusion, and also over the top with her reactions in the library at the beginning, like that audible gasp that you would get on Bridgerton.
He was getting it. She started cosplaying.
Exactly. Which just goes back into everything else that I was saying before. But yeah, so we are getting close to the end here. And like I said, we do have another presentation here that we're gonna show off. And I don't want to take too much time away from that, because that kind of gives us some grief on the back end of things.
Yeah.
But yes, we will be back on Friday, as we have been doing the Legend of Ruby Sunday, doing a watch party. I'm planning to be back around, and Kevo will be here, I assume.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for part 1, and like I said, I'm gonna work on trying to come up with a Tales from the TARDIS thing.
Has anyone else watched any of them, like the bookends, any of that?
I watched them back before the 60th. I did. I was able to watch, I think, the whole things. I was able to get a hold of them. I don't.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't get engaged, and then he gets engaged.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which shows how different Rogue is than Captain Jack. Because if that was the Doctor, if that was 9, 10, anyone talking to Jack Harkness saying, "Quick, play along. We got to go to do drama," Jack would have chewed every curtain and piece of scenery there was. Like,
he would have ruined it with his drama.
He would have ruined it.
No.
Exactly. Right.
Too much, Jack.
So it kind of really shows how different Rogue was, where he was just silent. Like, he's like, "Look, I'm a bounty hunter. I don't do these theatrics." But anyhow.
Exactly. So, Rev, where can we find you as we get things kind of wrapped up? Where can we find you? What do you got going on?
You can find me on youtube.com/ Reverend Amagon, or just type in Tasty Cake and you'll find me.
Excellent. And Melanie, where are you at these days?
You can find me on Instagram, Pieces of Melee, or you can even find me on Facebook right now, more so Facebook. If you are in the Tampa Bay area, I will be this Friday, Sorry, that's why I can't do Friday. But I could do Thursday. This Friday, we are having the artist talk and the opening reception for the 100 Women Now and Then exhibit in the Dunedin Fine Arts Center, where 100 pieces of art, 100 artists were given 100 women to paint, to learn, and all that kind of fun stuff from art history. Mine was Amrit Shargil, who was a Hungarian Indian painter who was around from 1913 to 1941, I believe. But anyway, you can go there. You can see my stuff live, and I'll be there on Friday, just kind of doing live video kind of stuff, very informally kind of stuff. But if you're there, I'd love to see you and chit-chat and all that kind of fun stuff.
Excellent. And of course, speaking of Friday, of course, we've got Kevo. And where else can we find you, and what else you got coming up?
You can find me on X's for Show on your YouTube platforms. We are a weekly live media response program. We are in the middle of responding to the current season of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9. It's a very interesting one because it's all for charity, so no one is being cut and sent home. So it's getting a little dramatic with people being stuck with each other all week and stuck with the decisions they make in all of the gameplay. We also have been covering Star Wars Acolyte. I'm sure we're going to get back to that before the finale. We really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. You know, it's fun. It's fun. And it's really interesting, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And so, yeah, you can find all of our coverage over on X's for Show.
Fabulous. And of course, for me, as I mentioned earlier, you can find me at TheRatHole.ca or TheRatHole.WHOTCA, depending on the platform you're looking. So you can see down there on my YouTube is TheRatHole.WHOTCA, because they don't like periods in the middle of their URLs. Same with Twitter and Twitch as well. But it's one of the 2 ways to find me. I do have TheRatHole.ca/who, but that page has been having some difficulties, so my most recent reviews are not up there. But if you just go to the website, go to the reviews, the review for Doctors and Daleks is right there, first up, or very close to, and then there's also the Adventures in Space that I had up last week. Those are also getting shared out over on the Facebook page for Legend of Traveling TARDIS. And then I'll be resharing this over media as well here fairly quickly.
Yay!
We need to also point out that we've hit 12,000 subscribers on YouTube.
The what?
People seem to like Kevo.
Heck yeah!
I guess. It's that lovely face you were talking about at the top of the episode. I'm just going to keep that mug up, I guess.
It's that awesome logo that we have for Pride.
It's the gun show. That we got the other day. There you go.
I need to be taught how to do this. I'm always like, and you can't see guns this way.
You're trying to do a Wolverine pose, and you need to go Colossus.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take that advice, and I'm gonna practice for Friday, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Tony take us out, and then but please stay tuned. After that, those closing credits, we are going to be running running the a convention special. It'll be about 40 minutes, so please stick around. You're welcome to comment. I think Christian will be at least in the comments,
especially if you're in the central to space coast of the east side of Florida.
There we go. Yes.
So that will be it's a special about Space Coast Comic Con. I don't know.
I think we're there this weekend.
Yes. So that's this weekend. Go check it out. And if you want to know more about it, keep watching.
There you go.
Exciting.
So yeah, we will be right back with that. And maybe, I don't know if I can't stick around, but it's possible that some of these might. In the meantime, again, we'll see you guys on Friday. And I'm just kind of vamping while I try and hit all of the right buttons.
I know that feel.
Like I said, stick around after our credits for the after party / Space Coast Comic Con special. And take it away, Tony.
everyone. I'm Ashley Eckstein. Most of you may know me as the voice of Ahsoka Tano and also the founder of Her Universe. And this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, the extended version, a very special version, because today we're going to be talking about coming up this very weekend, the 15th and 16th of June. God, I'm sorry, Jake, I messed up the dates already. It's going to be taking place at Space Coast Comic-Con. Space Coast Comic-Con taking place at the Space Coast at the Wyndham, let me get this right, not the Wyndham, the Wickham Park Community Center. Is that correct, Jake?
Yes, sir. That's it. Wickham Park Community Center.
Yes, please get your tickets now. You can just go to spacecoastcomiccon.com or on their Facebook page. But there, right there is, if you are in talking about geekdom all over the place, from Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, wrestling. We'll be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about some delicious culinary that's going to take place, because we're going to be having food trucks galore out there. I want to welcome Jake Estrada, who runs Space Coast Comic-Con and Space Coast Comics. And check them out over there. We're going to be talking later with the Hangman himself, actor and pro wrestler. And we're going to be talking to Jacqueline Amira. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I play Quinn the Wicked on the upcoming horror series known as Arcadia. I'll give you the Clips Notes. I'm a bad girl. I'm very bad. Oh my gosh.
Do we have to put you in a corner somewhere at this point?
She's already in the corner.
Oh, no.
And for those of yes. And for those of you who are lucky enough to be watching this, I just want to show you something that I got, and we will be reviewing it. So I just want to let you know. We are going to be reviewing that, and you guys, if you haven't, it is now out on Big Finish at bigfinish.com. You can download it for just a small fee. Check it out, but it's Alex Kingston and the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston. We're going to be checking that out as soon as we're done reviewing current show with Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in our panel there. Welcome, Jake. Thank you so much. We're doing Space Coast. How many years have you done this?
So this is technically the 9th year of Space Coast Comic-Con. And this year's the 9th year, and the magazine itself has been going for 10 years, Space Coast Comics.
God, it's been so long, and I was just like, dude, I was like, we skipped a year for COVID, skipped a year for hurricane, but my God, this has been going on for 9 years. How does it feel to be almost, a decade old on this?
It's pretty surreal, to think about it, because after basically 10 years of doing this show, that, here I am, I still feel the same, even though I'm a decade older. And I got more grays than before.
And you're still 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm still 7 feet tall. Haven't melted yet. all the things I've gone through, and we're still here. Still doing the same thing.
That is awesome, dude. Going almost on a decade of this convention, and we're happy to be a part of it. And again, for those of you who may be just joining us up over here, Space Coast Comic-Con, get your tickets now. And they're really good. If you want to do something for the entire weekend, geek out with some friends for all your geeky needs, whether it be wrestling, it would be Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, wherever your geekdom is, Disney. You can check us out this weekend, and we're going to have a booth out there with my friend Kat from Cosplay Orlando. So please get your tickets now, and I'll be putting out over there. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. 11,500 strong, all of you. Damn.
Boom, an army, man.
Now, while we're recording, we've had 2 new people show up.
Hector and Christian, there they are.
Hello.
There you go.
Hi,
Late. Well, no. We're going to be doing Jacqueline first because she was here. And then I'll get to the 2 of you in just a second there. Jacqueline, tell us a little bit of... Don't tell me. I'm not going to say that joke. Anyway, Jacqueline, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you're doing out at Space Coast.
Well, me and Jake have a very interesting history because he cast me in his zombie movie last year.
Oh.
And I had to fight him. And I was laughing so hard as we were doing our punches and our kicks, and then he flipped me over. And like, I had no idea, I'll be honest, that Space Coast Comic Con was like a thing. I really didn't. And I was brought out last year to host, and it was an interesting experience because I had just started hosting shows in Comic Cons last year. I've also lost 135 pounds in the last 4 years. I've done fitness shows as well. I do magazine and cover magazine work on occasion. And then I got cast for the horror series towards the end of 2023. I am a dork. So normally with Comic Cons, you think of things like MegaCons, San Diego Comic Con, MetroCon, UltraCon down in Miami. I didn't know this was here. But I'm like, hey, this is on my home turf. I like this. I don't have to rent a hotel or nothing. I can go home.
One and done.
And
yeah,
exactly. And the role that I play on Arcadia, I said I'm bad. My character, she bad. People don't become bad on their own. They become bad from what they go through life, through experiences. And my character has gone through so much that there's no turning back. And she don't give a beep. I'm going to censor myself in case kids are listening. You're not going to learn to cuss from me. Learn from your parents like I did. But
wait, who just beeped us? I don't even have a beep crying out loud. Who beeped me?
I'm excited to like cause all sorts of chaos and mayhem. And my promos for the show are still on social media. They're on my Instagram account, and they've done quite well since they've been released.
Sweetness. Well, I hope you brought enough for everybody in this. So thank you so much, Jacqueline. And everybody here is going to be at Space Coast Comic Con again. This is going to be at the Wickham Community Center on June 15th through the 16th. And what I love about Space Coast Comic Con, Jake, is that it's not it's just Jacqueline said, it's not MegaCon, it's not one of these bigger cons. It's a little bit smaller, but I love it because it's more community geared. Because nowadays you go to these bigger cons and it's just like, I tell people like, MegaCon, how do you prepare? And I say, prepare it as if you're going to a theme park for about a week. I mean,
wear deodorant.
Yes, please wear deodorant. There's free. Wait. I need to address this, kids. There's free running water at your hotel, and I'm sure they're giving out soap. So please use it. And I'm sure there's a little convenience store in your lobby that has please put something on.
7-Eleven, Wawa, Cumberland Farms, they all have it.
I don't want it to smell like the moon of Endor when I'm walking through a convention, okay? So, I mean, I love all of our audiences out there, but for crying out loud, I've been to so many conventions right now. It's like, oh, this is Tampa Bay.
They all say the same thing.
They all say the same thing out there. Speaking of which, we are going to bring in Kristen Satterfield. How you doing there, love? Oh, you're muted. I think you're muted.
I'm unmuted.
They're unmuted. There you go.
Hello, welcome.
On my computer, of course. How are y'all?
Not
good.
Bad.
Yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
All right. What's Jake doing for you? What do you think he's doing?
I met him through the Comic-Con chat bot when I discovered, like Jacqueline was talking about, that we had a Space Coast Comic-Con. And he invited me to join as one of the vendors since I write sci-fi dystopian. So definitely been part of this like culture for a while and loving all this stuff. So I'm really excited to actually go to like a local one instead of like you're talking about the giant one where you're shoulder to shoulder with 20 billion people and you don't know what's going on half the time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I met Jake on eHarmony, so that's how I met Jake out there.
Really, I met him on Hinge.
Christian.
You don't bring me flowers anymore.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, we've gone off the rails.
I love it.
So I'm gonna bring in Hector. How you doing, my friend Hector? What you doing out
Hey,
there, Space Coast, brother?
I will be helping Jake host a lot of talent that's going to be there. Also directing those that are going to be looking for their tables and everything. So pretty much his enforcer, because he's a short guy, and gotta make
No,
sure.
wait, Jake, just
You're
for
his
the audience.
Gandalf to the Hobbit.
Yeah, exactly.
How tall are you, Jake? I just want people to know.
So for years, I used to tell people I was 6'9", but technically I'm closer to 7 foot tall.
Could you stand up just for a second? Can you just take a stand?
If I stand up, all you're going to see is my knees. You sure?
That's what we want. Yeah. Hey, that's the picture. Oh God,
I can just see him with the stick right now. You shall not pass.
Yes.
This year I'll be focusing a little bit.
Hector, so you're gonna be dealing with talent out there. What's up, Hector? Come on, tell us what's.
Yeah, so we're gonna make sure that we have the Q&As for everybody this time around to make sure we get a lot of attention on that, because there's gonna be so much talent, so many people coming around, a lot of actors, actresses locally and from afar coming through this time around. Make sure we promoting it, and if anybody has any issues or anything like that, look for myself, or if you guys can't find Jake, I'm the other over 6'4" guy that's gonna be there. We're pretty tall guys. I was also in the first Bulk Us when he put that out. I met Jake about 5.5 years ago. I still have a lot of stuff for Space Coast Comic Con. I love,
Oh, that's so cool.
Cute.
Keep it on my side. I am a content creator myself. Usually live on Twitch gaming, or I do a lot of game reviews, do a lot of food reviews as well. On my channel.
Where can people find you, Hector?
You guys can just Google Reek and Rod TV. It's common spelling, RICANROD TV. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was gonna be like that. But I will definitely appreciate you guys being there, and it's gonna be great to see everybody. The Hangman, I can't wait to see you, man. Speaking of tall people, that's another tall guy right there.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead.
Excited to see you, Christian, Kristen, and Jacqueline as well.
Nice to meet
Jacqueline's always so helpful. Every time last Space Coast Comic Con, he was very big on the Q&As, and I loved it. So we're gonna make sure we push that again and get people known out here.
Gotcha. Speaking of which, Jake, I want you to bring on the Hangman. We saved the best for last. Mr. Hangman, how you doing there? Welcome to the show, my friend.
It's good to see you guys. Whoa. Here I am. And this is a podcast. I'm out in the woods. It's almost like we were doing the movie Bocus. We're out in Palm Bay in the compound. We're way out in the woods here, Jake.
Oh.
Jake, you got some questions for Mr. Hangman? Well, you got to unmute your mic still. Yeah. I can't do it for you, Jake. There you go.
Muted myself, I've been running around having all this background noise myself. So anyway, Bruce, my great friend right there, he's a great talent. He's been in multiple different movies over the years. And I met him on the set of Bocus, the original Bocus, out in a compound, like you just said. And he's been doing a lot of stuff, and he's a great supporter of the arts. And on top of that, he's a former professional wrestler. And I'd like Bruce to talk a little bit about his credentials. Tell us what you've done, Bruce.
Tell us what you've done, Bruce. Yeah.
Well, I started wrestling back in 1974 up in Chicago. And my first movie was filmed in 1974-75 with the great actor Kirk Douglas, called The Fury. Then I met a new actor who called me up, and he asked me to be in my second movie called The Blues Brothers. And that guy was John Belushi. So I've made lots of movies, about 54 movies, multiple TV series. My wife and I, we do bit parts, we do co-stars, starring roles, whatever it takes.
Go ahead, Jake.
Do you hear me now? I know.
Yeah. Oh, it's much better. Yeah, it was a little muffled.
Okay, yeah. So, you know, like Bruce said, he's done a lot of different stuff. He's been in a lot of different movies. He's been in the SpongeBob movie. He was going up against Antonio Banderas' character for a short clip, and he's been in Undisputed. He's acted with actors like Michael Rooker and a bunch of other stuff. And I've learned a lot of stuff from him, talking with him, picking up some cues and stuff like that. He's a really a talented individual, talented actor. And I have utmost respect. And he's going to be coming out. He's going to be coming up dressed as Santa, giving out some ducks and stuff like that to the kids. So, you know, and he's also, man, I lost my train of thought, but he's also going to be, like I said, he's coming out as Santa, and he's been a big contributor to the cause here in Bavard. And people, you know, when you see him, make sure you say, "What's up, Hangman?" Because you never know. He might come up and he might put you in a headlock.
Now I got a question for you, Mr. Hangman. Where did the name come?
I got the name from Dick the Bruiser. He gave me my name in 1974. There was like Hangman Bobby Jaggers, Hangman Johnny Starr, he told me. But my name on the radio in Chicago is PJ the DJ. He says there's no Hangman PJ the DJ. So no, I want you to be this mean, evil guy. And I'm going to put a mask on you to begin with. Because in Chicago, you had to be 21 to work the nightclubs. And I'm only 17 now. So he put a black mask on me. At that time, I had a golden, hot, sexy chocolate voice like Barry White. My father was black. My mother was Native American. So I got her skin, and I had his voice. Now, I lost my voice in 88 due to a stroke. My speech therapist came from New Jersey, so now I have her accent. So I carried that name of the Hangman. I proudly carry it since 1974.
Oh my
Hear
God.
that?
So
You got a New Jersey accent, guys.
I can tell. He's got a Santa accent out there. Well, thank you, Hangman. Thank you for joining us today out here. Now, let's go ahead and let me bring everybody up on this one because we're going to be talking about everything that's going to be going on at the convention. Starting with, talk to us, Jake, about these guys. You got to unmute your mic, Jake. This is not your first rodeo on a podcast.
It's actually doing it itself now. I haven't even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it's causing that now. It's like a weird glitch on my end. But yeah, we have Atomic Legacy Wrestling coming up at the show. I've been friends with the guys there for years. We also had Jerry Swirls. He popped up. He had a scene in Bocas 2 sequel. And then I've talked to plenty of the different wrestlers. So we're going to have a wrestling ring out there. And that's separate admission for that. So we're going to have wrestling towards the end of the day on day one, and then that's going to be an hour long. And then on day two, which is Sunday, it's going to be a 2-hour event. And there's VIP seating for that, and then there's standing room for that. And then you can also meet the wrestlers and everything like that before they get into the wrestling ring, because they're going to also be in the main room. And it's going to be exciting. You know, they come out here because these are a bunch of local guys. They do a lot of wrestling here locally in Brevard County. They've recently moved out to Orlando to get, you know, bigger crowds and everything like that. But they started right here in Brevard County, the Space Coast.
Now, I'm just going to cut right here because we've been saying this word a lot. So I'm going to let you answer this question. Jake, what is Bocas?
Bocas means mouse, right? So in Spanish. So people think about that, But technically, Bocas is just the guy's name. It's kind of like a last name that he got. The backstory for Bocas was, you know, since he's been alive a long time, he adapted that and made it into his name. And originally it was a last name, but for him, more or less, that also is a double-edged sword in the comic book world for the story. Kind of like if you go by biblical terms, you know, your tongue is a kindleth. You can speak life or death as a curse. So you use your mouth to make a curse. Kind of like, I'm sick. You may not be sick, but you end up being sick. Kind of like a self-prophecy that you create. You spread a curse to yourself. You do your little hocus pocus, you know, Bocas. So, you know, more or less. And then being Puerto Rican, you know, Hector can attest to that. We have El Cuco, you know, kind of like the boogeyman that can come and get you. Bocas, boogeyman. kind of thing. So I brought in all that type of stuff from the Catholic religion to my Puerto Ricanness and made a crazy comic book character.
Is that a word? Puerto Ricanness?
Yeah.
It is now.
It is now. It's a Jake said it.
Jacqueline,
I want
you're
that as
muted,
a hashtag and put on the back of a shirt with a scannable code. And speaking of which, if you're not familiar with Focus, Jake was talking about it. It's a character. You can actually purchase the movie. I think you're having it over at Space Coast, right? You're going to be selling
Yeah,
those
I'm
ones?
going to have copies of Bookus there.
Okay.
And I'm going to have that. But also, at the same time, this year is the 10th year anniversary of Space Coast Comics, which started before the convention, which 10 years of this. This is what started it all, guys, here in Brevard County, right here, the Space Coast Comics, where I originally published that 10 years ago, June 15th, believe it or not. 10 years ago, I released the first issue of that magazine, that comic book, which was a free comic book magazine that I distributed out through Brevard County. I was getting advertisers for it, and I was publishing it in. I was printing it, putting it everywhere. And, anywhere you went, it was like if you went to Firehouse Subs, it was there, or downtown coffee shop or anything like that. And I was just hoofing it. And eventually I met up with David Grace, and then him and I got talking because he wanted to launch Space Coast Comic Con. I was like, well, dude, I make this comic magazine, I'll advertise for you. And the rest is history. That's how I got into doing conventions with him. And
it's all your fault. Yep. Everything's your fault.
It was kind of like, a domino effect. And we just kept on going. And here we are now. Hopefully David comes up, and I've been harassing him. I'm like, I don't care. You got a Barnuminium up in Arkansas. You need to come here, be here with me, or I'm going to slap you with a codfish across your face. Pop, 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 pop. And he was like, what?
Unmute your mics. I want to hear you guys laughing because we're going to be going down the line, showing you. You can go to Space Coast Comic Con over on the Facebook page or spacecoastcomiccon.com. Purchase the tickets out there, and the Facebook page will get you the link. But real fast, let me go ahead and go down the link of. Wait, let me get out of here. There we go.
Yeah, that's just some of the people that are coming. Not everybody. I don't know. Kristen got kind of lazy.
Me and Hector are going to stay in between things. So
yeah. We'll stay in the middle.
Yeah, right there we got the Savior and Pollock coming out, which was also in Bookus too, and that's also a supernatural car.
Yep.
It's a fan
It's a
car.
beauty. Oh,
It
she's a beauty.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. And we got. I've never heard of this person. E.S. Barrison.
Yeah, she's come out before. This is her second time coming out to Space Coast Comic Con. She came out and not last year, but the year before when we had Space Coast Comic Con out in Vieira.
Fluvium.
And Kristen and Jacqueline, is this your first time at Space Coast, or you've been there before? How many times?
This is Jacqueline's second year coming out because she helped MC and do the Q&A. She did a great job doing that, helping the cosplay contest, and she was around. And that's why, and her and I, we get along great. She's a great talented actress, talented host and everything like that. So, of course, we had to bring her back, And then,
yeah, exactly.
And then, like, Kristen is her first year here coming out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
She's a newbie.
To meet her
I'm a newbie to Space Coast Comic Con. Done others, but never here. So.
Oh God, never mind. I'm not gonna
Kristen, don't corrupt the new talent.
It's Kristen's first and last year, thanks to me, Christian.
There you go.
There you go. Also we got Hamiar belts.
Yeah, they're the custom pro wrestling belts. Yeah, they're awesome as well. They're gonna be out there. Did a little research on them as well.
And we got some people over here.
Yeah, right here. There's quite a few artists. They're actually contributing to the 10th year anniversary issue, which is going to be for sale at Space Coast Comic Con. They provided covers. Like Dominic did a cover, which is the main cover. We just see a little preview in the black and white right there in the middle, where it says 10-year anniversary issue. He provided the cover with Bookus versus the Demon in a Spacesuit. And then we got Tom Ryan, who's also a comic artist, but he's also a writer for Fangora magazine, I believe. He writes articles in there, and then he also does films too. And then we got Emily Rosette, who is an awesome upcoming young artist who's been published through a lot of different recent, like Mad Cave Comics and a bunch of different comic publishers. And then we got Tom Riley, who does, he does his art as well. And then we got Anthony Fella. If you don't know him, he's Fat Man Comics. His comics are like they're homemade, and he staples them together. But people love him. You know, he's a home name here in the Space Coast. He's been doing that for about 12 years now.
Also, he's also a veteran as well, Army veteran.
Yes, he served the country.
Speaking of which, guys, I want to show you a magic trick. You were talking about Anthony down there in the bottom right-hand corner, right? I'm going to show you a magic trick because I can actually make him disappear. Well, hopefully he'll come up in just a few moments, but he was just backstage out there, and he just ruined my magic trick. So anyway, let's keep going there, Jake.
Yeah, so then we got the Devon Dudley coming out. You know,
Devon Dudley, yes.
Yeah, you know, he's a WWE Hall of Famer. You know, he's pretty big. You know, he's well known and really nice guy. I've spoken with him on the phone. I've spoken with his wife. I'm excited for them to come out and hang with us for the next 2 days, next weekend. You know, it's going to be a great time, and people are excited because, you know, he's never come to the Space Coast ever. So, you know, it's something like, you know, that's going to be a great time.
Gotcha. And who is this lovely gentleman right
that's
there?
Dan Roberts. You know, he's a local cosplayer, but I mean, he builds the stuff, and the stuff he builds is awesome that he makes and everything like that. He's a really talented guy, and then that's one of our comic book vendors.
Gotcha out there, and these guys right here,
right there. Yeah, they're going to be coming out here with the Ren Fair. They're going to be doing their little business right there. They're going to be dressed up. If you're into Ren Fair, right there, you're going to have a little dose of that right there. They're going to be outside. You know, they're going to be building their walls and their tents and stuff like that, and they're going to be doing some jousting, they told me, and some other stuff. Hopefully the weather holds up. You know, but I've been looking at the weather forecast, and that drives me crazy. But, you know, we live in Florida. It could rain one minute, it could be sunny the next, and then the next one's raining again.
Yep.
Don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
A big thing on the Shire of Leicester, the Adrian Empire, they also usually go to the Ren Fair every year. I've taken a lot of photos of them as well. And then a couple interviews with them. They're amazing. They always bring the fun to the Ren Fair. So everybody's gonna have an awesome show with that. Watching them as well.
There's that. I'm looking at the picture on the right hand side, and remember that line from Blind Fury. He goes, "I also do circumcision." Hey, I need me one of those buttons now. If you every time, Jake, I love this. Every time I go to a convention, for the most part, and it's not a blame on them, but sometimes they don't even have food. We're loaded this year. We're loaded. So let me run down what you can get your appetite taken care of over here at Space Coast Comic Con at the food truck rally at Space Coast Comic Con out there. Let me go ahead and bring up we'll get your mouth watering on this Smash Town burgers. And if you want to elaborate on any of these guys, let me know there, Jake. We got a pinch of Rodriguez food truck.
Not mine, I promise y'all. But I'm down to taste their food.
We're just gonna have Hector cooking something out there. Taco Maniacs. That's cool. Fresh wings. Sorry, I'm a little slow on this. Trey's Ice. Holy smokes! Now, what is this?
Those are like Italian ices. Oh, those are so good. Yeah, kind of like that, but his own style. They're really good.
We have more ices going on over there. There you go. And Southbound and Down.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, they have some like Southern foods.
And Sweet and Treats more. By the way, I have a magic trick that I'd like to perform. Speaking of Fat Man Comics, there he is.
I pulled the disappearing act last time.
I know. I had you all lit up. Speaking of Tony, boop, you disappeared.
You had the perfect segue.
I did.
Howdy, everyone.
Tony, talk to us. What you doing at Space Coast? And tell us a little bit about Fat Man Comics.
Aside from technical difficulties for the pre-show boost in it.
There you go.
Well, I'll have the Fat Man Comics booth back, of course. Swing by there for free chocolate and the world's okayest comic books. I'm Tony of Fat Man Comics. Look me up on Facebook. I'm all over the place. Additionally, I'm co-hosting with Mr. PC's Photography and Computers. We are co-hosting the official after party, the Spacey Shindig. That's going to be on Saturday night from 6 to 10. So definitely look for us there.
Anthony.
Please tell me you can hear me.
Yeah.
Anthony, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Tell everybody how we met.
Oh no!
The full uncensored version, or how blue can this get?
Tell them about the Winkies.
So we're going back
Wait a
maybe a
minute. Keep
decade
it
now.
PG,
and,
PG-13, kids. Okay,
Okay.
I got to deal with the Facebook people too. I got Facebook
Get the beep
and I got
ready.
YouTube to worry about. Yeah, exactly.
Got me. I
So-
got the bleep button ready.
Perfect. So we're going back maybe a decade, and I'm on Facebook.
Wait a minute, how long is the story?
No, give them the short
It's-
version of it.
Go ahead.
2012. Yeah, 2012. I'm going back about a decade, and maybe shortly after Fat Man 1 comes out, and I'm pushing it on Facebook, and I'm hustling, and I'm running it all over. Rick from Famous Faces and Funnies has it on his shelf. He's awesome, and I'm trying to spread my name and get my word out there. Then I get somebody messaging me out of nowhere. It's like, hey, I'm Jake. I'm new to the area. I make a comic book magazine that we talk about comics, and we have little comic strips, and I'd like to do an interview with you, winky face. And I was like, oh, that's a weird way to talk to another man, but hi, I'm Tony. I make comic
That
books.
is
She's like,
the
oh,
worst
smiley.
impression of
Well,
Jake I've ever
I would like
heard
to
in my
meet
life.
you. Oh, it was interesting. And so he's sending me all these emojis, and I'm like, okay, this guy might be hitting on me. Whatever. I got, I'm here to sell my comic books, and I'm just gonna be a loving and welcoming person, no matter who is interested in giving me, their attention and money for comics and stuff. And he's like, I'd like to interview you. I'm like, okay, I can live with this. He's like, meet me at the convention. What was it? Was it Melbourne Toy and Comic Con, Jake? Which con was it that I met you at?
It was Nerdfest.
Oh.
Nerdfest.
Oh, we don't speak of the nerd.
Yeah, that shows you how long ago it was.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, all right, I'll swing over to that con and meet this Jake guy, introduce myself, see if he's interested in interviewing me for his new magazine. Worst comes to worst, some guy flirts with me, whatever. I lived in San Francisco for a year. I'm, nothing I can't handle. Because all his messages still have these winky faces and smileys. And
not that there's anything wrong with this. Not that there's anything wrong with this. Okay.
No,
In the
I've got
military,
an
we
open
say
mind.
don't ask, don't
Do
tell,
what
right?
you got to do. It's just not my particular taste, you see. But I'm not going to shame somebody for living their life their way. So I walk in. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Anyway.
Let's see how this goes. And then I walk up to the Space Coast Comic Con booth, and all of a sudden, this hulking man is like, "Hey, I'm Jake," and I'm just looking up at him like, "Hi, I'm Tony." And I'm like, "Oh man." He's like, "This is my wife Beth, and these are my kids." And oh man, it's so nice to meet you. And I was like, "Oh, okay. You just don't understand emojis and flirting." All right, sweet. Hi, I'm Tony. You were interested in interviewing me, and so that started a friendship that's been going strong for years and years now.
Don't look at me. I'm gonna.
Thank you for sharing that story, dude. He tells the best
That's
way
how I
ever.
met Jake. Happy Pride
Where do I
Month.
go from here? Anyway, nice. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Legend of the Traveling. No, I'm the host. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Just in case you want to join us, please. It will be, if you're watching this, it should be the week of this week coming up, and June 15th to 16th over at the Wickham Community Center, and you can buy your tickets over at Space. Wow, I'm just stumbling today. I just got off work. SpaceCoastComicCon.com, or you can go on the Facebook page, and I'm sure Jake's got a link to it. Everything you've seen over here, we're going to be is going to be a part of this show. Those food trucks, all the talent, all the talented people that you see right here, everybody here, and all because of this man.
If we know it's Father's Day weekend, Jake's a dad. So nerddom is something that is passed down through different generations. What better way to celebrate Father's Day than to bring your family out and enjoy the fandoms that you love? Come and hang out with us. It'll be a good time, I promise.
And
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you guys come out on Father's Day, there is a sale that Jake's got going on. So if you guys want to treat your dads out there as a family, it's $15 for the group. So come on out.
Love that.
Oh, that's it. Only $15 for your family. You got a dad.
Yeah. You know,
Bring 'em.
your dad.
Not
you
bad
come
at
out,
all.
$15, you know, you, wife, and your 2 kids. Boom. Father's Day.
Now wait a minute. Don't go stealing somebody else's kid just to get the discount. Let me make that clear.
You look
I
nothing
can see
like
a lot of
you.
dads. I can see a lot of phony dads coming in. Hey, I'm a dad too, and they come in with and they come in with their mouths. And
I'm just borrowing your kid for a minute. Let me get in the door.
The kid looks like the UPS man. Anyway, back on track again. Space Coast Comic-Con is this weekend, June 15th to the 16th. Please get your tickets out now. Look at all these talented people that are going to be out there. And because we're part of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, thank you all. 11,500 of you on our YouTube channel, 73,000 of you on our Facebook page. And I lost count because you guys are just insanely crazy joining us. And please, I'm going to give you a hint again. If you stick with us after the Ncuti Gatwa series for its first season of reviews, this will be our first Big Finish review. I am so happy we got this. This is the Big Finish audio Starcrossed. There we go. And it features Alex Kingston as Riversong. And yeah, that's the Ninth Doctor. Both of them are on these CDs. So the Ninth Doctor meets Riversong. That's all you got. That's totally worth it. I got the CDs purchased. You can get this at bigfinish.com. No, we're not commissioning or anything like that. We're just going to be reviewing that, and you should check it out for yourselves. Also, speaking of great conventions, we're going to be at our first time at Ancient City Con.
Ooh.
This is going to be September 13th through the 15th. DALEKHAL will be with us at that convention. This is taking place at the World Golf Village, the Renaissance Resort in St. Augustine, Florida. This is our first time coming out there, and we're going to be providing a Dalek, and we're just going to have some great time. So all of you in St. Augustine who've never seen us or wanted to see us and just hadn't had a chance, we're giving you the chance now. September 13th through the 15th. Get your tickets now at ancientcitycon.com. Wow, let's say that 15 times, twice drunk. Anyway, if anybody has any last words, I'm going to give everybody the last word so that everybody gets a chance to tell us where people can find you. I'm going to start with the best man here. I'm going to bring in the Hangman. Hangman, where can people find you on social media?
Okay, my screen here, I think it's going blank. So on Facebook, type in the name Bruce, Bruce, last name P as in Peter, O as in Oscar, B as in boy, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, and Z as in zebra. That's Bruce Pobance.
Cool.
And that.
Gotcha, Bruce. Well, thank you for coming up on this. Thank you. Thank you for joining us out over there. Jacqueline, where can people find you?
The easiest way to find me is through Instagram. Show up at my house. I got weapons under the bed. I'm ready. Try something.
Okay. we gotta say that, or else people are coming like, "Hey, Jacqueline, yeah, Christian told us to come over."
Yeah,
I'll never hear that.
She's Puerto Rican.
The best place to find me. The best place to find me would be on Instagram at Jacqueline Amir, all lowercase letters, all together.
Hector, again, where can people find you, my friend?
Hey, I was able to fix it. Okay, so if you guys want to play, if you guys are big gamers or anything like that, I'm usually streaming from Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/ReekandRawTV. Also, you guys can find me on my social medias. We do a lot. I'm always open for acting stuff and local MCing stuff. Also, I also teach salsa and bachata downtown Melbourne, Florida on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. as well.
Johnny, where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me at facebook.com/FatmanComics.
Gotcha there. And Kristen, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me on Insta or Facebook at Kristen Writes Fiction, or you can explore the world of Shadow Wars at KristenSatterfield.com.
Sweetness. Jake, you know the man. I'm going to be letting you have the last word on this. Sell it to my friends out there about Space Coast Comic Con. Here it is, Bocas. Make it good.
Hey guys, Jake Estrada here, and I'm telling you, you need to come to Space Coast Comic Con because we're going to have wrestling, we're going to have food trucks, we're going to have Rick and Rob, we're going to have Fat Man Comics. If you don't come, Fat Man Comics is going to tell you that story again about me winking at them. So you better come down, you better chill out and have some great times, guys. Space Coast Comic Con needs you because we don't need no more me winking at you. So,
Wink, wink.
I'm winking at Tony.
I'm winking at Tony too all day. He bribes us with chocolate every time.
Exactly.
I love it
folks,
now.
Don't forget to join us over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheLegend, the Traveling TARDIS. 11,000 of you. Thank you so much. And growing. It's like crazy. And our Facebook page, facebook.com, the Traveling TARDIS. Thank you so much for joining us. And all these people, you're going to be seeing them this weekend, June 15th, 16th at the Wickham Community Center in the Space Coast, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe down there at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS there. And without further ado, I'm still getting used to my buttons. Well, they've been doing the reviews without me, and I'm just like, I can't find the buttons. So without further ado, everybody take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Become part of the legend. Tony, take us out.
Yo. Peace out, gang. See you this weekend.